Former President Trump reacting with a string of insults to the new charges added against him in the Mar-a-Lago secret documents case, decrying what he calls the horrible people he thinks are behind it. The special counsel, in a sense, doubled down on its document investigation, now accusing Mr. Trump of being part of a scheme to delete security camera footage of the property contained on a video server.
Something absolutely explosive just happened in New York courts that has Trump's inner circle in total panic mode. Asset seizure preparations underway. $454 million judgment enforced. Mar-a-Lago on seizure list. And I mean complete elite meltdown. Legal filings revealing Trump frantically trying to stop state from seizing his most prized properties. Bond companies refusing to work with him. And this isn't theoretical future possibility. This is New York Attorney General Letitia James saying publicly she's prepared to send sheriffs to Trump properties and start seizing assets if payment not secured. Make sure you're subscribed because what I'm about to explain shows how close Trump actually is to losing properties he spent decades building his empire around. Here's what just detonated in New York civil fraud case. Judge Arthur Engoron ordered Trump to pay $354.4 million in penalties for overinflating value of his assets to secure better business deals. With interest accruing at $87,000 per day, judgment now exceeds $454 million. Trump has until deadline to either pay in full or post bond covering entire amount. If he fails, Attorney General Letitia James can begin seizing Trump properties across multiple states. Share this video because mainstream media isn't explaining how Trump's entire real estate empire now faces existential threat. Think about what that timeline means. Trump's lawyers filed emergency motions claiming posting $454 million bond, quote, practically impossible, unquote. Said they approached 30 bonding companies. All 30 refused. Spent, quote, countless hours, unquote, negotiating with one of largest insurance companies in world. Still couldn't secure bond. That's not normal for supposed billionaire with massive real estate portfolio. That's financial desperation. Letitia James didn't mince words when asked what happens if Trump doesn't pay. Quote, if he does not have funds to pay off judgment, then we will seek judgment enforcement mechanisms in court, and we will ask judge to seize his assets, unquote. Reporter asked which assets specifically. James, standing outside her office, looked across street at 40 Wall Street. Trump-owned office building right there, said, quote, we are prepared to make sure judgment is paid to New Yorkers, and yes, I look at 40 Wall Street each and every day, unquote. Share this video so people understand what properties actually on seizure list and why each one would devastate Trump personally. Notice what former White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham revealed about which properties would hurt Trump most. Told CNN, quote, I think if she tried to seize Mar-a-Lago or Bedminster or Trump Tower even, those are his babies, unquote. Continued, quote, you've got Sterling Golf Course in Virginia. Any of properties with golf courses I think would absolutely devastate him. It will be interesting to see what she goes for, unquote. That's someone who worked directly under Trump administration explaining these aren't just business assets. These are Trump's identity. Make sure you're subscribed because this gets even more devastating when you understand how Judge Engoron's ruling systematically dismantled every property valuation Trump claimed. Mar-a-Lago, perfect example. Trump valued property between $750 million and $1.5 billion, claimed it as residential estate. Judge found Trump fraudulently inflated value by perhaps 10 times actual worth. Why? Because deed from 2002 legally restricts Mar-a-Lago to non-residential use. Trump signed agreement with Town of Palm Beach converting property to private club. Agreement explicitly states members cannot stay more than 21 days per year. Trump valued it as if he could sell for residential development, but he can't. Deed prevents it. 2020 appraisal found market value $78 million. Trump claimed over $1 billion. That's more than 10 times inflation. Every single Trump property Judge Engoron examined showed same pattern of fraudulent overvaluation. Trump Tower penthouse in Manhattan. Trump claimed 30,000 square feet, valued at $327 million in 2016. Problem? Court-shown document Trump signed in 1994 acknowledging true size. Penthouse is 11,000 square feet. not 30,000. Trump nearly tripled square footage on financial statements from 2012 onwards. When Forbes' article in 2017 revealed Trump Organization quietly revalued property down to $116 million, but continued using inflated valuations elsewhere. Think about magnitude of fraud here. 40 Wall Street office building. Trump claimed worth between $297 million and $345 million in 2020 and 2021. Professional appraisal in 2020 found market value $78 million. Trump inflated by over 300%. Seven Springs Estate in Westchester County. Trump valued undeveloped land between $25 million and $105 million. Professional appraisal listed potential development worth $45 million in 2013. Golf course itself worth $16.5 million according to 2014 appraisal. Trump inflated by hundreds of millions. Judge Engeron found Trump, his company, and executives including sons Eric and Donald Jr. liable for falsifying records, conspiring to defraud insurers, and issuing false financial statements. Also found former Trump Organization executives Alan Weisselberg and Jeffrey McConney liable for insurance fraud. This wasn't close call. This was systematic, decades-long fraud affecting billions of dollars in loans and insurance policies. And what happens next in asset seizure process explains why Trump's emergency filings show absolute panic. Under New York state law, defendants seeking appeal must post bond worth full value of judgment to stop state from collecting while appeals play out. Bond companies typically require 1.2 to 1.5 times judgment amount to account for costs and interest. That means Trump needs somewhere between $545 million and $681 million in liquid collateral, not real estate, cash, or market securities. Former New York Assistant Attorney General Adam Pollack explained bond companies have strict rules. Real estate not allowed as collateral because can't be liquidated quickly. Trump's claim that 30 bonding companies all refused him tells you everything about his actual financial position. Notice what Pollack said about Trump's emergency filing. Quote, all 30 of them would absolutely write Trump bond if he offered $500 million of cash collateral, and 0 of 30 will offer bond if he offers anything much less than that, unquote. Translation? Trump doesn't have cash. Trump's wealth tied up in illiquid real estate that he fraudulently overvalued for decades. Now, when he needs actual liquid assets to post bond, he can't produce them. Think about what Letitia James can actually do if Trump misses deadline. First option, most straightforward. James already has complete roadmap to Trump's finances from civil fraud investigation. She knows exactly where his assets held. Can direct New York City Sheriff or Marshal to go to Trump's bank and issue execution order demanding Trump's accounts be drained? State law protects $3,000, everything above that seized. Pollack says this most efficient route to getting $454 million. James can also seize Trump's LLC membership interests, shares of stock, and other financial investments. Or she can begin seizing properties, not just in New York. Thanks to Uniform Enforcement of Foreign Judgments Act requiring states to give, quote, full faith and credit, unquote, to official acts and judgments from other states, James can technically go after Mar-a-Lago in Florida, Trump National Doral Golf Club in Miami, Trump Tower, Chicago, any property anywhere in United States. And please share this video so people understand legal mechanism for out-of-state seizures and why Trump can't hide assets in other jurisdictions. Make sure you're subscribed because Florida homestead protection Trump counting on might not actually protect Mar-a-Lago like he thinks. Florida Constitution Article 10, Section 4 exempts every resident's homestead from, quote, forced sale under process of any court, unquote. No judgment, decree, or execution shall be lien. Attorney Colleen Kerwick explained Florida is debtor's haven. Homestead law protects unlimited amount of value in residential home from judgment creditors. But here's problem. To qualify, you must live in home-owned home and maintain home as primary residence. Mar-a-Lago isn't residential property. It's private club. 1993 agreement converting it to club explicitly bans members from staying more than 21 days per year. Trump's own attorney said in past Trump not living in Mar-a-Lago was only, quote, member of club, unquote. Notice legal trap Trump created for himself. When he valued Mar-a-Lago as residential estate worth $1 billion for loan applications, he claimed it as development property. Now, when trying to protect from seizure under Florida homestead exemption, he claims it as primary residence. Can't be both. If it's residential, then his financial statements were fraudulent because deed prevents residential development. If it's club property, then not protected by homestead exemption. Either way, James has legal pathway to seizure. Think about timeline pressure Trump facing. Interest accruing at $112,000 per day, according to Associated Press calculations. Every day Trump doesn't pay, judgment grows larger. By August 2025, Trump's bill climbs to $500 million, and that's just New York's civil fraud case. Trump also owes $88.3 million to E. Jean Carroll from separate civil trial. Combined, Trump needs over $540 million in liquid assets immediately. Trump filed emergency motions arguing bond requirements, quote, impractical and unjust, unquote. Claimed securing such large bond, quote, practical impossibility, unquote. Appeals court initially said Trump must post full amount. After Trump's lawyers complained, court reduced requirement to $175 million. Trump posted that bond in April to halt collection while appeals proceed. But if appeals fail, Trump still owes full $454 million plus accumulated interest, and Letitia James made clear she will seize assets to collect. What happened during trial reveals how thoroughly Judge Engoron documented Trump's fraud, making appeal nearly impossible. Trial lasted 2.5 months. 40 witnesses testified, including Trump himself. Judge decided case because state law doesn't allow juries in this type of lawsuit, and neither side requested one. Before testimony even began, Engoron issued summary judgment ruling state had proven Trump fraudulently inflated financial statements. Trump's defense argued disclaimers on statements absolved him because said recipients shouldn't rely on numbers. Judge rejected that defense, found decades of systematic fraud designed to deceive banks, insurers, and business partners. Specific examples of fraud Judge found are absolutely damning and make successful appeal unlikely. Trump Organization CFO Alan Weisselberg testified under oath about how valuations manipulated. Said he and Trump Organization controller Jeffrey McConney agreed to report value of Trump Park Avenue as if rent-stabilized apartments could be sold at market value, even though legally they can't. 12 rent-stabilized apartments appraised by bank at total $750,000. Trump Organization claimed worth $50 million, that's 67 times inflation. Weisselberg also said he valued Mar-a-Lago as if it were residential, even though legally it's not. Notice what happened when Trump Organization Assistant Vice President Patrick Burney testified. Said 2017 Forbes article revealing Trump's penthouse size claims were overstated, prompted revaluation. He, Weisselberg, and other employees revalued property at $116 million in 2017, down from $327 million in 2016. But Burney testified he researched Palm Beach homes to value Mar-a-Lago and didn't learn of property's 2002 deed, classifying it as non-residential until Attorney General pointed it out. Court also shown draft spreadsheets Burney prepared in 2017 proposing marking up value of some Trump assets by 15 to 35% under guise of, quote, presidential premium, unquote. Think about what Trump said during trial when he testified. Told reporters Mar-a-Lago worth between $750 million and $1.5 billion. This is after professional appraisals found $78 million value. After deed restrictions proven, after fraud documented, Trump still publicly claiming property worth 10 to 20 times actual value. That's why judge found fraud continuing through present day. Emergency filings Trump's lawyers submitted show desperation bordering on panic. Claimed bond requirements would force fire sale of properties. Argued no bonding company would work with them despite being, quote, one of largest insurance companies in world, unquote. Said posting collateral, quote, impractical, unquote, without explaining why supposed billionaire can't access $500 million in liquid assets. Letitia James' office responded, it's common for large companies to post billion-dollar bonds. Suggested Trump should have posted real estate with court. Trump's team argued that, quote, impractical and unjust, unquote, but cited no New York case law supporting claim. What Letitia James said about which property she's eyeing reveals this isn't empty threat, this is active preparation. James looking at 40 Wall Street every single day. Property directly across from her office, Trump-owned, subject to fraud findings, located in New York where she has immediate jurisdiction, perfect first target for seizure. But James also filed judgments with clerk's office in Westchester County on March 6th, just 1 week after Engoron made decision official. That's where Seven Springs Estate located. James preparing legal groundwork for seizing properties across New York State. Even if Trump somehow survives New York's seizure threat, this case destroyed his business empire in other ways. Judge Engoron also banned Trump from running any New York-based corporation for next 3 years. Ordered Trump Organization to supply detailed information to court-appointed monitor about all financial operations. Monitor is retired Judge Barbara Jones. She gets full access to day-to-day operations, advance notice of any efforts to secure bonds, any financial disclosures, any representations made in connection with securing bonds, any personal guarantees, any obligations required by surety companies. Trump's business essentially under court supervision. Think about what this means for Trump's political future. He's running for president while facing potential seizure of properties he built entire brand around. Every campaign rally he holds interest accruing on judgment. Every day he doesn't pay judgment grows larger. Every property he owns potentially on Letitia James' seizure list. And bond companies won't work with him because they don't believe he has liquid assets to back their risk. Trump filed bankruptcy in past for casino properties, but filing personal bankruptcy wouldn't make $454 million fine disappear. Would just hand control of assets to bankruptcy court and trustee who sort out debts and prioritize who gets paid. Taxes always take priority. Then judgments like Engoron's. Bankruptcy would delay Trump's debts, could take years to settle, but interest would still accrue on outstanding balances. Meanwhile, James could argue bankruptcy filing proves Trump doesn't have assets to pay, so court should authorize immediate seizure, regardless of what happens with appeal or bankruptcy proceedings, damage already done to Trump's business empire and personal brand. Judge Engoron's ruling based on overwhelming evidence, 40 witnesses, 2.5 months of testimony, documents showing systematic decades-long fraud, financial statements prove false, property valuations proved inflated by hundreds of millions or billions, company executives testified under oath about manipulation, Trump's own signed documents contradicting his claims, appeals court unlikely to overturn findings this thoroughly documented. This story continues. Stay tuned.